What if the Snake River at Massacre Rocks hid a chilling secret? In 1975, I patrolled the park, then heard the cries. Water babies, Shoshone spirits, wailed from the river, their glowing eyes haunting. They dragged a tourist under. I saw it, his screams swallowed by the current. Their sorrow pulls you in, a deadly lure no one escapes if they get too close. With sage and Shoshone prayers, I fought to calm them, saving lives for decades. My team, Mia, Caleb, Lily, faced the spirits, ending their wrath by 2005. But some still hear cries at dawn. Dare you face the river's ghosts? Uncover this haunting Shoshone legend. Watch the terror unfold now. Subscribe for more. Massacre Rock's secrets are calling. I'm Lucas Harper, 22, a newly minted park ranger at Massacre Rocks State Park in 1975. I grew up in Pocatello, Idaho, a small town just 10 miles east, where the wind carries the scent of sagebrush and history. My father, Henry Harper, 50, a high school history teacher with a weathered face and a love for old tales, raised me on stories of the Oregon Trail. But it was his darker stories that stuck with me. Tales of the Shoshone, who once thrived here, and the tragedy that gave this place its name. Massacre Rocks isn't just a name, Lucas, he'd say, his voice low, his eyes distant. It's a warning. He told me of a famine centuries ago so brutal that Shoshone mothers, driven by desperation, drowned their infants in the Snake River. They couldn't bear to watch them starve, Dad said, so they gave them to the water, spared them a slower death. I'd scoff, my ranger hat tilted back. Dad, I'm here to guide tourists, not chase ghosts. But that first summer on the job, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the basalt boulders in shades of crimson, I felt a chill. The Snake River rushed past, its surface a glassy black, its sound a constant whispering hum that seemed to carry voices. I patrolled the park alone that night, my boots crunching on the gravel path, my flashlight casting jittery beams across the sagebrush. Massacre Rock State Park was quiet, the last of the day's tourists gone, their RVs and tents packed up, leaving only the wind and the river. The park spans a rugged stretch along the Snake River, where pioneers once traveled, their wagon ruts still etched into the earth. The boulders, massive jagged remnants of volcanic eruptions, loomed like sentinels, their shadows stretching long and eerie in the moonlight. I'd read the park's history. In 1862, emigrants clashed with Shoshone here, a skirmish that left blood on the rocks. But Dad's stories weren't about that massacre. They were about the water babies, the Shoshone infants whose cries haunted the river. They're still here, Lucas, he'd warned. Their spirits never left. Listen close at night, and you'll hear them. I shook my head, muttering to myself, just the wind, just the river. No such thing as ghosts. But as I reached the riverbank, where the water lapped at the smooth stones, a sound stopped me cold. A faint cry, soft but piercing, like a child's wail, carried on the breeze, echoing off the rocks. I froze, my flashlight trembling in my hand, the beam dancing across the water's surface, searching for the source. The cry came again, louder, more desperate, joined by another, then another. A chorus of ghostly wails rising from the river. My breath caught, visible in the chilly night air, my heart pounding as I scanned the darkness, seeing nothing but shadows. Get a grip, Lucas, I whispered, my voice shaky. It's just an animal, a coyote maybe. But the cries were human, unmistakably so, their pitch high and mournful, filled with a sorrow that made my chest ache. I remembered Dad's words, his voice echoing in my mind. The river took them, but their cries never left. They want to be heard. I took a step closer to the water, my boots sinking into the muddy bank, the river's current swift and unyielding. The cries grew louder, a haunting melody that seemed to pull at my soul, urging me to wade in, to find them. I radioed the station, my voice barely a whisper. This is Harper. Anyone else hearing this? I've got cries by the river. Static crackled through the receiver, no reply, just the relentless wails, the river alive with the Shoshone's ancient grief. I turned off the radio, my hands shaking, the flashlight beam catching a ripple in the water, too deliberate for a fish. The ripple spread, the surface breaking, and I saw them. Small shapes, pale and ghostly, their tiny forms bobbing just beneath the water. They were infants, their eyes glowing faintly, their mouths open in silent cries, their hands reaching up as if begging to be saved. I stumbled back, my boots slipping on the mud, my heart racing as I counted 5, 6, 7 of them, their forms shimmering in the moonlight. Water babies, I breathed, the Shoshone legend slamming into reality, their sorrow a tangible force that pressed against me. I wanted to run, to flee back to my truck, but their cries held me, a desperate plea I couldn't ignore. I whispered, "I'm sorry, I didn't do this to you." My voice cracking, the river's chill seeping into my bones. The water babies sank, their cries fading, the river stilling, but the air remained heavy, the park watching, waiting. I sat on the bank, my knees weak, the sagebrush rustling behind me, the boulders looming like silent witnesses to my fear. Massacre Rocks had awakened, the water babies real, my first encounter a harbinger of the terror to come. The next night in 1975, I returned to Massacre Rocks with a knot in my stomach. I'd barely slept, the water babies' cries echoing in my dreams, their glowing eyes burned into my memory. I carried a bundle of sage, a gift from Nola Redfeather, a Shoshone elder, 60, who'd lived near the park her whole life. I'd met her that morning at the park's entrance, her silver hair braided, her eyes sharp with a wisdom that made me feel small. "Lucas," she'd said, her voice gravelly, "the water babies cry for justice. They're angry, and they'll pull you in if you're not careful." I nodded, my ranger hat low, the sage bundle tucked into my belt, its earthy scent a faint comfort against the fear. "Burn this," Nola instructed, her hand steady, "and don't go near the water alone. They'll sense your fear." I muttered, "I'm not afraid, Nola. I just want to keep people safe." But my voice betrayed me, trembling slightly. She gave me a knowing look, her lips tight. "You'll learn, Ranger. The river doesn't forgive ignorance." Massacre Rocks loomed ahead, the river's rush a constant reminder, the water babies waiting in the depths. I patrolled the park as the sun set, the sky streaked with orange and purple, the boulders casting long, jagged shadows. A group of tourists had set up camp near the river, their tents pitched too close to the water for my liking. I recognized the couple from Boise, Claire, 30, with short blonde hair, and Tom, 32, a burly man with a loud laugh. They'd arrived that afternoon, their RV parked nearby, their campfire crackling as they roasted marshmallows with their 2 friends. I approached, my flashlight dim, my voice firm. "You need to move your camp. Stay away from the river tonight." Claire laughed, her voice light. "Oh, come on, Ranger. We're on vacation. What's the harm in a little riverside camping?" Tom grinned, poking the fire. "He's probably worried about bears, Claire. Don't worry, I've got my hunting knife." I clenched my jaw, the sage bundle heavy in my hand. "It's not bears. It's the river. There are things in there." Their friends, a couple from Twin Falls, Mark, 28, and Lisa, 27, snickered. "Ghost stories, huh? Tell us more." Massacre Rocks darkened, the air thick with the scent of sage and danger, the water babies stirring, my warning ignored. I stayed nearby, setting up a small post under a cottonwood tree, my eyes fixed on the river, my sage ready to burn. The tourists' laughter echoed, their campfire casting flickering shadows, their ignorance a beacon for the spirits below. At midnight, the air turned cold, the wind dying, the river's rush slowing to a haunting whisper. I lit the sage, its smoke rising in thin tendrils, the earthy scent mixing with the damp air of the Snake River. The cries began, soft at first, a single wail that sent a shiver down my spine, then a chorus, shrill and desperate. I whispered, "They're here." My hands trembling, the sage smoke swirling around me as I scanned the water. Claire stood up, her flashlight in hand, her voice curious. "Did you hear that? It sounds like a baby crying." Tom joined her, his knife on his belt. "Probably a cat or something. Let's check it out, Claire," I shouted, my voice cracking. "Stay back, don't go near the water, it's not what you think." Massacre rocks tensed, the river alive, the water babies rising, their sorrow a deadly lure. Claire ignored me, her flashlight beam dancing across the water, the cries growing louder, more insistent. She gasped, her voice trembling. "Tom, look, there's something in the river. It's a baby." I ran to her, my boots slipping on the gravel, the sage smoke trailing behind me as I grabbed her arm. "Don't look at it," I yelled, pulling her back, my heart pounding as I saw the shape in the water. It was a water baby, its form pale and translucent, its tiny body floating just beneath the surface, its eyes glowing a sickly yellow. Its hands reached up, its fingers webbed, its mouth open in a silent cry, the wail echoing in my ears. Tom stepped forward, his knife drawn. "What the hell is that thing? I'll get it out." I tackled him, my voice desperate. "Don't, it'll drag you under. They're not alive. They're spirits." The water baby lunged, its tiny hands breaking the surface, grabbing at Claire's flashlight, pulling it into the river. Massacre rocks trembled, the water babies vengeful. My first sighting, a fight for survival. Claire screamed, stumbling back, her face pale as the flashlight sank, the water baby vanishing into the depths. Tom panted, his knife useless. "What was that, Ranger? That wasn't a baby. It wasn't human." I burned more sage, my voice low. "They're water babies. Shoshone spirits. You're lucky you're alive." Lisa and Mark ran over, their eyes wide. "We heard it too. Are we safe here? What do we do?" I pointed to their tents, my voice firm. "Pack up. Move to the upper campground, away from the river, now." They obeyed, their campfire doused, their RV rumbling to life as they fled the riverbank. I stayed, the sage smoke thick, the cries fading, the water babies retreating, their warning delivered. Nola's words echoed, "They'll pull you in if you're not careful." And I knew she was right. I'd barely saved them. I sat on a boulder, my hands shaking, the river's rush returning, the park silent but watching. Massacre rocks held its curse, the water babies real, my role as protector just beginning. By 1976, I'd become obsessed with the dark legend of Massacre rocks. I was 23, my ranger badge a heavy weight, my days spent poring over Shoshone history in the Pocatello Library. I'd found old journals, written by Oregon Trail pioneers, mentioning wailing spirits near the Snake River, their words chilling. One entry, dated 1852, read, "Heard cries of babes at night, none found, yet the river seemed alive." I'd also met with Nola Redfeather again, her small cabin near American Falls filled with Shoshone artifacts and sage smoke. She sat across from me, her hands tracing a beaded necklace, her voice low. "The spirits are angry, Lucas. They feel forgotten." She spoke of the famine centuries ago, a time when the Shoshone faced starvation after a brutal winter killed their game. The mothers had no choice, Nola said, her eyes glistening. They drowned their babies to spare them a slower death. I swallowed hard, my notebook open. How do I stop them, Nola? They're a threat to everyone here. Massacre rocks whispered its past, the water babies restless, my need for answers urgent. Nola handed me a carved stone charm, its surface etched with Shoshone symbols, its weight cold in my palm. "Honor their sorrow," she said, her voice firm. "Offer gifts to the river, cornmeal, sage, a prayer for their peace." She warned, "Never confront them. They'll see it as disrespect, and they'll take you to the depths." I nodded, my sage bundle tucked into my belt. "I'll try, Nola. But what if it doesn't work? What then?" Her eyes darkened, her voice a whisper. "Then you'll need a Shoshone ritual, a cleansing. But it's dangerous." I left her cabin, the charm in my pocket, the river's pull stronger, the cries echoing in my mind even in daylight. Back at the park, a local girl, Mia Blackhawk, 16, a Shoshone descendant, approached me at the visitor center. She had long black hair, her eyes fierce, her voice determined. "I've heard the cries, Lucas. I want to help." I hesitated, my ranger hat low. "It's dangerous, Mia. You're young and these spirits don't care who you are." Massacre rocks loomed, the river's sorrow a living thing, Mia's courage a spark in the gathering dark. That night, I took Mia on patrol, Her Shoshone blood a connection to the spirits, her charm glowing faintly in the moonlight. We walked the riverbank, the boulders casting eerie shadows, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and sage. Mia whispered, "I hear them, Lucas. They're calling me." Her voice trembling, her hands clutching the charm. I lit the sage, its smoke rising, my voice low. "Stay back, Mia. We'll honor them, not confront them." The cries began, a chorus of wails, the river surging, small shapes breaking the surface, their eyes glowing yellow. There were dozens, their tiny forms floating, their hands reaching, their cries a desperate plea that chilled my blood. A tourist, a man from Seattle named Greg, 40, stumbled from his tent, his camera flashing, drawn to the sound. I shouted, my voice hoarse, "Get down! Don't go near the water! You'll die if you do!" Greg ignored me, his camera clicking. "I'm getting this on film! It's incredible!" His voice filled with awe. Massacre rocks trembled, the water babies vengeful, their sorrow a deadly force, my warning too late. Greg stepped closer, his boots splashing in the shallows, the water babies swarming, their cries a deafening scream. One lunged, its tiny hands wrapping around his ankle, its glowing eyes locked on his, its pull unnaturally strong. Greg screamed, his camera falling, the river surging as he was dragged under, his cries cut short by the water. Mia gasped, her hands covering her mouth. "He's gone, Lucas, they took him. We couldn't save him." I burned more sage, my voice a chant. "Rest, little ones. We honor your pain. We see your sorrow." The water babies retreated, their forms fading, the river stilling, but Greg's body didn't resurface. Just his camera, floating. I pulled Mia back, my heart pounding. "We need to do more, Mia. This isn't enough to stop them." She nodded, her eyes fierce. "I'll help, Lucas. My people's pain is my pain. We'll find a way." I picked up the camera, its film intact, the last photo showing a blurred, pale face with glowing eyes. Massacre Rocks mourned another, the water babies relentless, our fight for peace just beginning. In 1977, I was determined to calm the water babies' restless spirits. I was 24, my nights sleepless, my days spent learning Shoshone rituals with Nola's guidance. Mia, now 17, joined me at the park, her Shoshone heritage a bridge to the spirits, her resolve iron. We gathered offerings, cornmeal from a local farm, sage from Nola's garden, a small woven basket Mia made herself. Nola met us at the riverbank near Massacre Rocks, her cane tapping the ground, her voice steady. "This is sacred, Lucas," she instructed. "Place the offerings in the river, sprinkle the cornmeal, burn the sage, and pray for their peace." I nodded, my charm in my pocket. "We'll do it right, Nola. We can't lose more lives to the river." Mia clutched the basket, her hands steady. "My grandmother taught me a prayer. I'll say it for them." We stood at the water's edge, the river dark under the stars, the air heavy with anticipation, the cries faint but present. Massacre Rocks watched, the water babies listening, our offering a desperate plea for peace. The night was still, the moon casting a silver glow on the river, the boulders looming like silent guardians. I sprinkled the cornmeal into the water, its golden grains sinking slowly, a gift to the spirits below. Mia placed the basket on the surface, her voice soft, chanting a Shoshone prayer. "Spirits of the river, we see your pain." I lit the sage, its smoke rising in thick curls, the scent grounding me as the cries grew louder, more insistent. The water babies appeared, their forms shimmering, their tiny bodies floating, their eyes glowing with a mix of sorrow and anger. One drifted closer, its hands reaching for the basket, its cry softening to a coo, its presence less hostile. I whispered, "We honor your pain. Rest now, little ones." My voice a prayer, the charm in my pocket warming. The spirit took the basket, its form fading, the other water babies following, their cries turning to a gentle hum. Mia smiled, her voice awed. "It's working, Lucas. They feel our respect. They're listening." Massacre Rocks sighed, the river calm, the water babies appeased, our offering a fragile victory. But the peace was short-lived. the park busier with summer tourists, their ignorance a constant threat. A family from Utah, parents John and Emily, both 40, and their kids Ben, 12, and Sophie, 10, camped nearby. They'd heard the park's history, their voices excited. "We read about the massacre. Any ghosts out here, Ranger?" I warned them, my sage bundle ready. "Stay away from the river at night, it's not safe, especially for kids." John laughed, his voice booming. "We'll be fine, Ranger. We're not afraid of a few ghost stories." That night, the cries returned, louder, the river surging, the water babies drawn to the children's laughter. Ben wandered to the water, his flashlight on. "I hear something, Sophie. Let's find the baby." I ran to him, my voice desperate. "Ben, get back now, the river's dangerous." The water baby lunged, its hands grabbing Ben's ankle, its cry a scream as it pulled him toward the water. Massacre Rocks roared, the water babies vengeful, our offering tested, a child's life on the line. I dove for Ben, my hands gripping his arms, pulling him back as the water baby's strength surged, unnatural and cold. Mia burned sage, her voice chanting, "Spirits, release him. We honor you. We see you." The water baby screeched, its grip loosening, its form fading as the sage smoke enveloped us. Ben sobbed, his ankle bruised. It was a baby, but it wasn't. It wanted to take me. John and Emily ran over, their faces pale. "What happened? What was that thing?" I panted, my voice firm. "Water babies. Shoshone spirits. You need to leave this spot, now." They packed up, their RV speeding away, the river stilling, the cries fading, but the threat lingered. Mia looked at me, her eyes fierce. "We need a stronger ritual, Lucas, something to truly calm them." I nodded, the charm in my pocket cold. "We'll talk to Nola, this isn't over." Massacre Rocks held its breath, the water babies watching, our fight for peace far from done. By 1985, I'd fully embraced my role as Massacre Rock's keeper of the river's peace. I was 32, my ranger hat faded, my nights spent burning sage and chanting Shoshone prayers by the river. Mia, now 25, worked at the park's visitor center, her warnings to tourists a daily ritual, her Shoshone heritage a guide. Nola was 75, her health fading, her cabin a sanctuary, where she taught me the deeper rituals of her people. I'd built a small shrine near the river, a circle of stones with offerings, cornmeal, sage, and feathers, placed nightly. Tourists came in droves, their RVs lining the park, their curiosity about the haunted river a growing problem. A journalist, Ethan Carter, 35, arrived from Boise, his recorder in hand, his skepticism clear in his sharp eyes. He'd heard of the water babies through a local paper, his voice eager. "I want to hear them, Lucas. Get it on tape." I shook my head, my sage bundle heavy. "You don't hear them, Ethan. You survive them. They're not a story." Massacre Rock stood haunted, the water babies quiet but present, my duty to protect a constant weight. Ethan followed me on patrol that night, his recorder slung over his shoulder, his boots crunching on the gravel path. I led him to the riverbank, the moon high, the air thick with the scent of sage and the river's damp chill. I warned, my voice low. "Stay back from the water, Ethan. Don't speak, don't move, just listen." He nodded, his recorder off, his eyes scanning the river. "I've covered Bigfoot sightings. I can handle this." I lit the sage, its smoke rising, the shrine's stones glowing faintly in the moonlight, the river's rush a steady hum. The cries began, soft at first, a single wail that sent a shiver down my spine, then a chorus, shrill and mournful. Ethan's eyes widened, his breath shallow. That's not natural, Lucas. It sounds like babies." I whispered, "It's them, the water babies. Don't move. They'll sense your fear if you do." A small form appeared, its pale body floating, its eyes glowing yellow, its tiny hands reaching toward us. Massacre Rocks tensed, the water babies stirring, their sorrow a living force, Ethan's skepticism crumbling. The water baby drifted closer, its cry piercing, its form joined by others, their chorus a haunting melody of grief. Ethan trembled, his recorder slipping. "I need to get this. Proof for the world." His voice barely a whisper. I grabbed his arm, my voice sharp. "Don't. If you disturb them, they'll take you. Just watch. Just listen. The water baby's eyes locked on Ethan, its hands reaching, the river surging as if drawn to his fear. I burned more sage, my voice chanting, "Spirits of the river, we honor you. Rest, little ones. Rest." The water baby paused, its cry softening, its form fading, the others following, the river stilling once more. Ethan panted, his face pale. I felt it, Lucas. It wanted me. I've never felt anything like that. I nodded, my sage smoke thick. You're lucky you're alive. Most don't get a second chance. He sat on the bank, his recorder forgotten. I believe you now. I'll tell the world to stay away. Massacre rocks spared him. The water baby's a warning. My role as keeper a lifeline for the living. Back at the visitor center, Ethan wrote his story, his hands shaking. I heard death, Lucas. I'll never forget it. I sighed, my voice low. Tell the world, Ethan, but tell them to respect the river, not to come looking. He published his piece, The Crying River of Massacre Rocks, his words a warning that spread across Idaho. Mia read it, her voice proud. You're saving lives, Lucas. More will listen now, thanks to him. I muttered, some will, some won't. The river doesn't care, and neither do the spirits. Nola called me to her cabin, her voice weak. You're doing good, Lucas, but the river's pain is deep. I held her hand, my heart heavy. I'll keep trying, Nola, for the Shoshone, for the park. She smiled, her eyes closing. You'll need the cleansing soon. The spirits are growing stronger. Nola passed that week, her legacy in me. The water babies a constant shadow, their cries a call to action. Massacre rocks mourned her, the river whispering her name. My fight for peace a sacred duty. By 1995, Massacre Rocks had found a fragile balance with its haunted past. I was 42, my ranger uniform patched, my shack near the park a hub for locals seeking river advice. Mia, now 35, ran the visitor center, her Shoshone prayers a daily ritual, her warnings to tourists firm. Ethan's article had made the park infamous. His book, Ghosts of the Snake River, a bestseller, his visits regular. I'd trained a new keeper, Caleb Whitehorse, 20, a Shoshone descendant with a quiet strength, his sage always ready. The water babies were quieter, their cries rare, their sorrow softened by our nightly offerings at the shrine. I muttered, we've made peace, Nola, but the river's pain runs deep. It'll never fully fade. Caleb nodded, his voice steady. We'll keep them calm, Lucas, like you taught me, like Nola taught you. We patrolled together, the moon bright, the air heavy with the scent of sage and the river's damp chill. Massacre Rocks stood sacred, the water babies at rest, our vigilance a way of life, but the balance was fragile. A group of teens from Pocatello, led by a local named Jake Miller, 18, camped near the riverbank that night. They were on a dare, their voices loud, their campfire roaring, their cooler stocked with beer, their bravado reckless. Jake, a tall kid with a buzz cut, had heard the stories, his voice mocking. Water babies? I'm not scared, Ranger. I approached, my sage bundle lit. Get back, now. The river's not safe at night, especially for kids like you. He laughed, cracking a beer. I'm from Pocatello, Lucas. I've swum in worse. Let's see these ghosts. His friends, Sarah, 17 with braided hair, Mike, 18, a football player, and Ellie, 16, the quiet one, cheered. I grabbed Jake's arm, my voice sharp. The water baby's done, take care who you are. They'll take you if you're not careful. Caleb flanked me, his charm glowing. Listen to him, Jake. Don't tempt the river. You won't come back. The air turned cold, the cries beginning, soft but growing. The water babies awake, their sorrow a deadly lure. Massacre Rocks darkened, the river surging, the teens' laughter a beacon for the spirits, our balance at risk. The cries turned shrill, a chorus of wails, the river's surface rippling, small shapes breaking through, their eyes glowing. Sarah screamed, dropping her beer. What's that? There's something in the water. It looks like babies. Mike stepped closer, his flashlight on. No way, that's freaky. Let's get a closer look. I shouted, my voice hoarse. Stay back, all of you. Don't go near the water. Jake ignored me, his bravado fatal. "I'm not scared of ghosts. I'll grab one." He waded in, the water up to his knees, the water babies swarming, their tiny hands grabbing his legs, pulling. Caleb tackled Sarah and Mike, forcing them down. "Stay down. Don't look at them." Ellie froze, her eyes wide, the water baby's cries a scream as Jake was dragged under, his yells cut short. I burned sage, my voice chanting, "Spirits, we honor you. Release him, please." Massacre Rocks roared, the water babies vengeful, Jake's life a sacrifice, our balance shattered. Jake's body didn't resurface, the river swallowing him whole, the water babies retreating, their cries fading. Sarah sobbed, her hands shaking. "He's gone. He was right there, and now he's gone." Mike panted, his flashlight broken. What were those things? They weren't human. They weren't. I helped them up, my voice low. "Water babies, Shoshone spirits. I warned you, the river takes what it wants." Ellie whispered, her voice small. I heard them calling his name before they took him. Caleb burned more sage, his eyes fierce. "We need to strengthen the shrine, Lucas. This isn't enough." I nodded, the charm in my pocket cold. "We'll do the cleansing ritual Nola mentioned. It's time." The teens left, their campfire doused, their dare a lesson they'd never forget, their friend lost to the river. I sat by the shrine, the river's rush a mournful song, the water babies watching, their sorrow a constant threat. Massacre Rocks mourned, the balance broken, our fight for peace a desperate struggle. By 2005, Massacre Rocks was a place of cautious reverence, its history known but feared. I was 52, my hair gray, my shack a monument to the river's sacred sorrow, its walls lined with Shoshone artifacts. Mia, now 45, led the keepers, her visitor center a hub for rituals, her Shoshone prayers a daily offering. Caleb, 30, taught tourists about the river's history, his voice firm, his sage a symbol of protection, his charm always on him. Jake's disappearance had spread, his friend's story a warning, the park now a place of respect rather than reckless dares. The water babies were a known legend, their cries faint, their pull less deadly, our nightly offerings keeping them at bay. I muttered, "We've done well, Nola. The river's at peace because of us, but it's a fragile peace." Caleb smiled, his hands steady. "Your legacy, Lucas. We'll carry it forward. Keep the spirits calm." A new report came. A hiker, Sarah Jennings, 28, heard cries near the boulders, her fear stirring us. Massacre Rocks stirred, the water babies awake, the new generation ready to face them, the tension rising. Sarah had been hiking the Oregon Trail path, her camera around her neck, her journal filled with notes about the park. She'd stopped at the riverbank near the boulders, the sun setting, the air cooling, when the cries began, chilling her. She ran to the visitor center, her voice trembling. "I heard babies crying, Lucas, but there was nothing there." I nodded, my sage ready. "You heard the water babies. They're real, Sarah. You're lucky you didn't get closer." Mia gathered our team, her eyes fierce. "We need to check the shrine, make sure the offerings are holding." Caleb grabbed the cornmeal, his voice steady. "I'll lead the ritual tonight. We can't let them get stronger." We trekked to the river, the moon casting shadows, the boulders looming, the air thick with the river's sorrow. The shrine stood intact, the stones glowing faintly, the offerings, cornmeal, sage, feathers, scattered by the wind. I whispered, "Something's wrong. The spirits are restless. We need to strengthen the ritual." Massacre Rocks watched, the water babies stirring, their cries a warning, our peace at risk. We set new offerings, Caleb sprinkling cornmeal, Mia burning sage, me chanting a Shoshone prayer Nola had taught me. The cries grew louder, the river surging, small shapes breaking the surface, their eyes glowing, their hands reaching. Sarah stayed back, her camera off. "I'm not looking. I don't want to end up like that kid, Jake." I nodded, my voice low. "Smart. Stay there. Don't move. Don't speak. They'll sense your fear." A water baby drifted closer, its form larger, its cry deeper, its presence more menacing than before. Caleb whispered, "This one's different, Lucas. It's stronger, like it's leading the others." The spirit lunged, its hands breaking the water, grabbing at the shrine, scattering the stones, its cry a scream. Mia chanted louder, her sage smoke thick. "Spirits, we honor you. Rest, please rest." The water baby paused, its eyes locked on me, its form fading, the others following, the river calming. Massacre Rocks sighed, the water babies appeased, our team a shield, but the threat lingered. Back at the visitor center, Sarah wrote her story, her hands steady. "I'll tell people to stay away, Lucas, I swear." I smiled, my sage bundle lighter. "That's all we ask, Sarah. Respect the river, respect the spirits." Mia looked at me, her eyes worried. "That lead spirit, it's new. We need to do the cleansing Nola spoke of." Caleb nodded, his charm cold. "I agree, it's time. We can't keep losing people to the river." I pulled out Nola's journal, its pages worn. She wrote about a cleansing ritual. "It's dangerous, but we have no choice." The ritual required a Shoshone descendant, a full moon, and a sacrifice, not of life, but of something precious. Mia volunteered, her voice firm. "I'll do it. I'm Shoshone, and I'll give my grandmother's necklace." Caleb prepared the sage, his hands steady. "We'll do it on the next full moon, 3 nights from now." I looked at the river, its surface still, the cries a faint echo, the water babies watching, waiting. Massacre Rocks held its breath, the cleansing looming, our fight for peace a desperate gamble. By 2005, 3 nights after Sarah's encounter, we prepared for the cleansing ritual at Massacre Rocks. I was 52, my hands steady despite the fear. My shack filled with Shoshone relics, Nola's journal open on the table. Mia, 45, stood ready, her grandmother's beaded necklace, a Shoshone heirloom in her hands, her eyes determined. Caleb, 30, gathered the supplies. Sage, cornmeal, a hawk feather, and a drum Nola had left us, his voice calm but tense. The full moon rose, its silver light bathing the park, the boulders casting long shadows, the river's rush a steady hum. Nola's journal detailed the ritual. A Shoshone descendant must offer a precious item, chant under the full moon, and face the spirits. I warned Mia, my voice low. "This is dangerous. If the spirits reject the offering, they'll take you instead." She nodded, her necklace glowing faintly. "I know, Lucas, but my people's pain is my pain. I have to do this." We stood at the riverbank, the shrine rebuilt, the air thick with sage smoke, the water babies stirring, their cries rising. Massacre Rocks trembled, the cleansing beginning, the river alive, our fate hanging in the balance. We formed a circle around the shrine, Caleb drumming a steady beat, Mia chanting in Shoshone, her voice strong and clear. I burned sage, its smoke rising, my voice joining hers. "Spirits of the river, we offer this gift. Find peace, little ones." Mia held the necklace high, its beads glinting in the moonlight. "This was my grandmother's. I give it to you, spirits." She placed it in the river, the water surging, the cries growing louder. The water babies appearing, their forms glowing. The lid spirit, the larger one we'd seen, rose, its eyes burning yellow, its cry a deep, mournful wail that shook the ground. It reached for the necklace, its tiny hands trembling, its form towering over the others, its presence overwhelming. Caleb whispered, "It's deciding, Lucas. If it accepts, they'll rest. If not..." The water baby screeched, the river surging, its hands grabbing the necklace, pulling it under, the cries turning to screams. I shouted, my voice desperate, "Accept our gift. Rest now, spirits. We honor your sorrow." Massacre Rocks roared, the water babies judging, the cleansing ritual a gamble, Mia's life on the line. The lead spirit turned to Mia, its eyes locked on hers, its cry softening, its form shrinking, the necklace glowing in its hands. The other water babies gathered, their cries turning to coos, their forms fading, the river calming, the air lighter. Mia panted, her hands shaking. "They accepted it, Lucas. I felt their pain, but they're at peace now." Caleb stopped drumming, his voice awed. "The river, it's different. It feels clean for the first time." I nodded, my sage bundle burning low. We did it, Nola. They're resting. The cleansing worked. But the peace was fragile. The park still sacred. The river's history a weight we'd always carry. Tourists returned the next day, their voices cautious. We heard the park safe now. Is it true, Ranger? I smiled, my voice steady. Safer, but respect the river. The spirits are at peace, but they're still here. Mia rebuilt the shrine, her necklace gone, her heart lighter. For my people, Lucas, for the water babies. Massacre rocks stood sacred, the cleansing complete, the water babies at rest, our victory hard won. By 2025, Massacre Rock stood as a place of sacred balance, its history a lesson for all. I was 72, my body slowing, my shack now part of Mia's visitor center, its walls a gallery of Shoshone history. Mia, 65, ran a cultural program, her sage displayed in a glass case, her stories a draw for visitors from across Idaho. Caleb, 40, led the keepers, his role a calling, his rituals a way of life, his charm a symbol of our fight. The water babies were a legend, their cries rare, their sorrow softened by the cleansing, the river's peace a fragile gift. I muttered, "We've done well, Nola, the river's at peace, its pain honored, but we'll always be vigilant." Mia smiled, her eyes warm. Your legacy, Lucas. It'll live forever, a bridge between the living and the spirits. A new incident stirred. A camper, Daniel Hayes, 32, heard faint cries near the river, his fear stirring us. Daniel had been fishing at dawn, his line in the water, when a single wail echoed, chilling him to the bone. Massacre Rocks whispered. The water babies present, our legacy called to action. The tension rising once more. Daniel ran to the visitor center, his fishing rod forgotten, his voice trembling. I heard a baby crying. It wasn't human. I nodded, my sage ready. You heard the water babies. They're at peace, but their echoes remain. You're safe. Mia gathered our team, her eyes sharp. We need to check the shrine, make sure the balance holds. Caleb grabbed the cornmeal, his voice steady. I'll lead the ritual tonight. We can't let the spirits grow restless. We trekked to the river, the sun setting, the boulders casting long shadows, the air heavy with the river's scent. The shrine stood strong, the stones intact, the offerings, cornmeal, sage, feathers, untouched, glowing in the dusk. I whispered, the balance holds, but we'll honor them anyway. Let's not take chances. We set new offerings, Caleb chanting, Mia burning sage, me praying, the river calm, the cries a faint echo. Daniel watched, his fear easing. I'll respect the river, Lucas. I won't fish here again. Massacre Rocks stood peaceful, the water babies at rest, our team a shield, the legacy enduring. Back at the visitor center, Daniel thanked us, his hands steady. You saved me. I'll tell everyone to respect this place. I smiled, my sage bundle lighter. That's all we ask, Daniel. Honor the river, honor the spirits. Mia looked at me, her eyes proud. We've built something, Lucas, a way to keep the park safe for generations. Caleb nodded, his charm warm. The spirits know us now. They trust us to keep their peace. I pulled out Nola's journal, its pages a guide. We'll keep teaching, keep honoring, Nola's way, the Shoshone way. The park thrived, tourists respectful, their voices low. We read about the water babies, we'll stay back. Locals visited, their offerings small, their respect deep, the river a sacred place, its history alive. A faint wail echoed at dusk, a gentle reminder. The water babies watching, their sorrow a quiet song. I whispered to the river, we'll keep your peace, Nola, for the Shoshone, for the park. Massacre Rocks glowed, the water babies at rest, our legacy a sacred bond, the river's peace a gift. By 2040, Massacre Rocks had become a place of reverence and education. I was 87, my body frail, my shack now a museum. The river's sorrow, built by Mia to honor our fight. Mia, 80, curated the museum, her sage displayed, her Shoshone prayers recorded for visitors to hear. Caleb, 55, led cultural tours, his voice a bridge to the past, his charm a relic of our battles. The water babies were folklore, their cries a recording, their sorrow a lesson in Shoshone history and respect. Visitors came, their eyes wide, the museum a window to the park's haunted past, its exhibits alive with stories. A photo of me hung above the entrance, my ranger hat on, my sage in hand, my smile fierce despite the years. Mia guided a tour, her voice warm. Lucas Harper faced the water babies. He saved this park, saved lives. Caleb played the cries, the visitors gasping. The water babies echo a chilling reminder of the past. Massacre Rock stood sacred, the river at peace, our legacy a testament to the Shoshone's enduring pain. A boy, Tommy, 10, touched my photo, his voice awed. He fought ghosts. He wasn't scared. Mia nodded, her eyes misty. Lucas was brave, Tommy. He faced the spirits to protect us all. Tommy stared at the sage bundle, its leaves preserved. I want to be a keeper too. I want to help. Caleb smiled, his hands steady. You will, Tommy. We'll teach you the rituals, the Shoshone way. Mia played a recording of Nola's voice, her Shoshone prayer echoing, the visitors silent, the air heavy with respect. I sat in my wheelchair, my heart full. You're doing good, Mia. Caleb, the park's in safe hands. Mia hugged me, her voice soft. You gave us this, Lucas. We'll never forget what you did. The museum thrived, its exhibits alive, the water babies a draw for the curious, their story a lesson. Visitors left offerings, flowers, stones, honoring the Shoshone spirits, the river's peace a shared responsibility. Massacre Rocks glowed, the water babies at rest, our legacy a bridge between past and present. By 2060, Massacre Rock stood as a beacon of sacred beauty and respect. I had passed in 2042, my ashes scattered in the Snake River, per my wish, joining the spirits I'd honored. Mia had passed in 2050, her legacy in Caleb now 70, a keeper of the river's peace. Caleb ran the museum, his voice a guide, his sage a relic, his Shoshone prayers a daily ritual for visitors. The water babies were a legend, their cries a recording, their sorrow a lesson in history, their peace enduring. Visitors came, their cameras off, the museum a window to the Shoshone's pain, its exhibits a call for respect. A photo of me and Mia hung above the entrance, our sage bundles in hand, our smiles a testament to our fight. Caleb guided a tour, his voice warm. Lucas and Mia faced the water babies. They gave us this piece. A girl, Lily, 12, touched our photo, her voice soft. They were heroes, weren't they? They saved the river. Massacre Rock stood sacred, the water babies at rest, our legacy a sacred bond, the river a sanctuary. Lily's father, a Shoshone man named Joseph, 40, nodded. They honored our ancestors, Lily. They're part of us. Caleb smiled, his eyes warm. Lucas would be proud, Lily. He'd want you to learn the Shoshone ways. Lily stared at the sage bundle, its leaves preserved. I want to be a keeper. I want to help the spirits. Caleb handed her a small charm, its stone etched. You will, Lily. We'll teach you, like Lucas taught me. Joseph joined the tour, his voice proud. My family's from this land. The water babies are our history. The museum buzzed, its exhibits alive. The river's story a draw for the world, its peace a shared victory. Visitors left offerings, cornmeal, feathers, honoring the Shoshone spirits, the river's banks a sacred space. A faint wail echoed at dusk, a gentle reminder, the water babies watching, their sorrow a quiet song. Caleb whispered to our photo, we'll keep the peace, Lucas, Mia, for the Shoshone, for the park. Massacre Rocks glowed, the water babies at rest, our legacy a sacred duty, the river's peace eternal. By 2085, Massacre Rocks was a global symbol of sacred peace and history. Caleb had passed in 2075, his legacy in Lily, now 37, a keeper of the river's story. Lily ran the museum, her voice echoing Mia's, her Shoshone prayers a daily ritual, her sage a symbol of our fight. The water babies were folklore, their cries a recording, their sorrow a lesson, their peace a testament to our work. A hologram of me stood at the entrance, my voice echoing, "The river is sacred. Honor it, protect it, respect it." Visitors watched, their eyes wide, the water babies' cries a sound from the past, their story a call for understanding. Lily guided a tour, her voice warm. Lucas Harper faced the spirits. He gave us this peace, this sanctuary. A boy, Noah, 10, touched the hologram, his voice awed. He was a hero, wasn't he? He saved the river. Lily nodded, her smile proud. Yes, Noah. Lucas was our hero, my ancestors' teacher, a keeper of the Shoshone way. Massacre rocks stood sacred, the water babies at rest, our legacy a bridge, the river a song of peace. Noah's mother, a historian named Anna, 35, smiled. We came to learn, Lily, to honor the Shoshone history. Lily handed Noah a small charm. It's stone-etched. You'll learn, Noah. You'll carry the Shoshone way forward. Anna joined the tour, her notebook open. I'm writing a book. I'll tell the world about the water babies. Lily played the cries, the visitors silent, the museum's lights dim, the river's story a haunting, beautiful tale. The river sparkled, its waters clear, the boulders standing as guardians, the park a sanctuary for all. Locals visited, their offerings small, their respect deep, the Shoshone history alive in every stone, every wave. A faint wail echoed at dawn, a gentle goodbye, the water babies at peace, their sorrow a quiet memory. Lily whispered to my hologram, We'll keep the peace, Lucas, for the Shoshone, for the river, for you. The museum thrived, its legacy global, the river's story a call for respect, its peace a shared victory. Massacre rocks glowed, the water babies at rest, our legacy eternal, the river a sacred song in the dawn. If this tale of Massacre Rock's water babies stirred your heart with its haunting grip, if Lucas's fight against the spirits made you feel the river's ancient pulse, if the Shoshone's sorrow left you breathless, seeking more mystery, show your support. Give this video a like to honor the spirits of the river. Join us on this journey into the unexplained, where legends whisper in the waters. Subscribe for more stories of mystery, history, and the truths we dare to face. What do you think still lingers in the Snake River? What secrets echo in the rocks? Drop your thoughts below. Let's uncover the mysteries together. The legacy of the unseen endures. A new chapter awaits your curiosity. Your wonder lights the path forward. Let's walk it as one.